Welcome back to another MobileSentrix Monday. My name is Derek. Today I'm going to be going over some of the things that you might have missed from last week. We'll also talk about some things to come, and especially one of the new tools that's available in MobileSentrix. So let's get into the video. First and foremost, today being National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, something to note is that only FedEx Ground will be available. So plan for that if you haven't already. Also something to note is that we have new game console parts. As you can see for the Oculus Quest 3, replacement batteries, the Nintendo Switch, analog joysticks, Nintendo Wii U, HDMI ports, etc. So definitely check those out if you repair consoles. And if you aren't repairing consoles, I highly recommend getting into it. And something that you might have missed as well is the I2C Face ID flex cables, which allows you to fix a bunch of the cases of Face ID issues without solder work. You can see here a list of the compatible models for pre-order. So definitely check that out so that you can fix those issues. Now on to the stuff that I'm most excited about. First is this really cool clamping fixture for watches, whether it's an Apple Watch or an Android. Being able to apply the correct amount of even pressure on the screen so that you get a good seal on it. If watch repair is something you do, I would definitely recommend this jig. And a new version of reballing stencils for the iPhone 10 through the iPhone 15 Pro Max for the mid frame. It's got some really good magnets in it which will allow you to reball much easier than some of the other methods you might be doing. So definitely check those out if you're ever struggling with reballing mid frames. And finally, a reballing stencil for the display ICs that has each one of the ICs on it. No more having to dig around to find the proper stencil. One stencil for all of the display ICs from the iPhone 11 through 15 series. A really fine nylon spudger that's the color orange, so it'll be easy to distinguish between the standard black ones to the NAND reader, which you also should be excited for if you do any type of board work on these specific models that it corresponds to. A new flex cable for the cameras is available as well for the iPhone 11 if the flex cable or the connector is damaged on the wide angle camera. This is quite an easy flex cable to solder to the back of the camera. It will also save you a lot of money without having to replace the camera or lose any of the functions or have the notifications. So learning how to install one of these flexes, I definitely recommend doing it. Now, if you haven't already experienced an iPad where you go to use the Apple Pencil after a screen replacement and you get a squiggly line that it doesn't draw at a diagonal angle, well, there is a way around it that is quite simple with the programmer. So definitely check out the screen read and write FPC flex cables for those iPad models. And there are some new Face ID FPC flex cables for these iPads here that you can see. It does require soldering, but it will allow you to save Face ID on those models when needed. And the one that I'm most excited for, and if you've stuck around, you're in for a treat, the bus detection adapters for the RFFE and I2C detection lines. Whether you're working on an Android or an iPhone, being able to use your JC programmer, either the JC V1S, the V1SE, or the Pro programmer, you'll be able to connect this board to it and using some coax cables, tap into the back of, say, an iPhone motherboard onto the specific lines that the software itself, the JCID software, will show you where you need to solder to the different leads coming off of the coax cables so that you can run tests to detect whether or not you have issues on the different service lines, the bus lines, the I2C lines at the click of a button using a combination of the programmer and a schematic. This will help you troubleshoot all of those issues that are hard to determine even if you split the board and you're doing a bunch of testing. So being able to simply tap into the back of the board with all of those test points, being as minimally invasive as possible, while at the same time diagnosing something that's typically very hard, is pretty impressive. So definitely check that out. Let me know in the comments below if there's something that you'd like to see demonstrated in a future video. Make sure that you have the notifications turned on because I've got some fun videos coming your way. Thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.